Hello everyone, it's Julie from Camelia Crafts Designs. Welcome and welcome back. I'm here today to make a few tags and library pockets. I'm just gonna, you might get less glare off that book then. I messed about making some yesterday. I didn't get around to doing a video. I just were lacking some inspiration yesterday. I've made tags, I've made pockets. They match because they're made out of craft and they're from Botanical books. I made these tags that are backed with some the self-adhesive brown paper. They're quite thin, but I think they're sturdy enough to write on. Be ideal for junk journals, not too much bulk there. With these, I just cut the name of the flower and dangled it on a bit of string in corner. I just cut up a random page for these. Didn't really look at what I was cutting up. I just cut them up, made them. I like this tag shaped top for a change. Put some little reinforcement holes on, rings, and an eyelet. In fact, that's where I cut my reinforcement rings from. Another one there, but none of these actually, none of them fit. Oh, that might fit. Or is that going to be too? It's probably too tall. Oh, it's okay. That'll do. And I just made them randomly, no rhyme or reason. Don't know why they were out. I thought, shall I make something with them? Shall I not? And I didn't. So there you go. So what am I doing today? I'm going to make some more with some images from this book. I've used this book before. It's the illustrated book of Wildflowers. It is on my Amazon favourites and it's quite a good price at the minute. I think it's about a £5. The prices do go up and down, so don't look at the books and think, buy it, because she really paid that for that. No, chances are I haven't. I'll keep them on there, and when I notice the price has gone down, that's when I'll buy them. Right, I like this book because of how it's laid out. We've got lots and lots of these, make really nice envelopes and journal pages. Can you see how the writing's in two halves? I mean, you're going to miss some writing off, but you can fold them down that line. Really good for your journals. Then we'll get to the main body of the book. You can see what I've made other things there with it, can't you? I've got bits left over. Every page is like this. You can see I've cut some out. You've got a flower, a plant, and its name description. Same again. So I've already cut a couple out to show you what I'm going to do. I think I'll cut that one out. It's really pretty. Corncockle. That's a cute name. So I've gone ahead and I've cut the description out with the name. And I've cut the tag out. I haven't decided if I want to put that on the pocket or cut it out and make a separate tag like I did with a couple of these. You know, the ones that are backed with sticky paper. I don't know, I might cut that off as well. I have not fully decided. I've clipped these together so I know what's what. You know, because they are double-sided. I'll cut that one. I like that. And I quite like that one, even though it's mainly green. It is quite pretty. So I'll move the rest of the book. I'll keep that page out and just show you how I've cut it up. I mean, you don't have to use this same book. There are lots of other botanical books out there, even gardening books. Oh, that's a nice one. Where the layout is pretty similar. You've got the eye, you've got the plant, and then you've got a brief description. Right, I'm gonna tack this with my scissors first because I haven't got a trimmer big enough to get this in. Oh, we had a wee there, didn't we? So bring trimmer in. I'm just going to trim this plant down. I don't like too much white around. So that's there. I'm going to chop. And I'll chop at the top of the word where I want it. Oh, that's fine. I'm just going to trim it down a little bit. I don't want that much white on the edge. And I also want it to be narrower than the description, so it will then fit in my pocket that I'm going to make. I'm quite happy with that. So that's that, and it's a night flowering campion. That's quite a pretty little name, isn't it, really? So I know that's a nice straight cut. So I'm just going to chop. If you've got the same chopper, it works for me. I get the my writing at the edge of the plastic guard, and it just gives me that nice border all the way around. You know, if you're trying to get your borders same, that's just a little thing I do. You might be using a different chopper. It might give you too big or too small a border, but it's whatever your guard is, it can be a guide like that. I'm quite happy with that now. So that's that one. I shall pop a paper clip on that if I can find my paper clips. Chances of that are pretty slim. The room is a bit of a disaster. I'm totally not tidying up while kids are on holiday. I'm being extremely naughty. Craftland chances, I would say, pretty imminent. So yeah, it's not looking good, people. But I'm just going to cut across that one by hand in the middle. I want to keep one straight edge as my first one to line up in the trimmer. So that's that. Using my plastic guard. I mean, it's quite a precise project, this, but there isn't actually any measuring. I'm not really doing any measuring. So, bit of a contradiction, really, that, isn't it? Precise but not measured. Hey-ho. Right, I'm just going to cut around the flower. I don't want any of that green on top. I might cut some of it, some of that bottom leaf off, actually. Oh no, it does look alright, that. I might just cut a bit closer to it. And I'll take some of this off bottom. So that's determining, really, about how big my tag's going to be. As long as that is wider, we're going to be okay. So put that away. You don't need to see me chop any more of those up, because I've just chopped quite a few up ready. So I'll move these out of my way. Put those in the bin. They're really, well, in the card recycling box. Really don't need any more of those. Right, I'll move my pre-made ones. Put them on the craft lunch pile. It's like a giant game of Jenga over there at the minute. I've got a cup of tea balanced underneath it. This could get really dicey. Oh, I love the cup of tea just made for me by Rachel. Right, I'm going to make my pockets out of these brown file folders. I use these a lot. I get some with tabs, some without. These happen to be ones without. I save tab ones in case I want to make something with a tab on. Yeah, you'd never guess that, would you? I've just cut this down to 7.5 inches, and I've cut the height down I had to cut it down just to get it in my trimmer. So I'm left with this. It went a bit jagged there, but I'm going to cut that off. So I'm going to make, that's the full file folder, in case you wondered. Yeah, and it's how I made these pockets that I showed you. So before I cut this anymore, I'm going to start sticking things to it. Move this out of my way. I'll try and keep my desk tidy enough. Craft lunch behind me now. It's like one of these days I'm going to get trapped in this room. Yeah, buried. Right, so here we go. We need a bit of ink. Yeah, my ink's a bit dodgy. Well, it's not. My ink's not dodgy. There's nothing wrong with my ink. I lost my dauber. So I've had to get a new one out, and it just does not ink as good when it's new. They need bedding in these, don't they? I'll tell you what, shall I just use... I'm going to use Distress ink instead of my oxide, because I really don't like that. I'm very unhappy with it at the moment. Yeah, I'll use Distress ink walnut stain on the white one. I'll use my oxide on the craft, because I always say it tends to show up better on darker coloured card when you use oxides. I think they're not as translucent, or they're more opaque. Right, and I'm going to stick that on. That will determine the size of my pocket. Right, when I put that in, it's like, do I want... I can't decide. I cannot decide whether I want to cut that off as a separate tag. No, I'm not going to do. I'm not going to. Been there, done that. Bought t-shirt, shrunk ink wash, gave it to charity. Right, I'm using my tacky glue, because I can now get a much smaller amount out in my sugar bell bottle. I'll get quite a small bead. And this is quite a thick book page. It's not too flimsy, so it doesn't show through. So I'm gonna pop that on at the bottom. This is the crease I've got along the bottom. There we go. Let that start to dry. So that's the corn cockle. Do you know what I'm going to do here? No, we know that's a corn cockle, don't we? That's a corn cockle. If I forget, I can look at my video. Yeah, super. Normally I'd take a photo, but I'm filming with it, the camera. So this is the night flowering campion, which is the white one. So yeah, don't forget that. Remind me if I forget. I'm going to ink the edge of this a little bit. Yeah, it's not a difficult project, this. It's just... Sometimes it's nice to show how you do something. Might do it different to someone else. It might click with you. May not have clicked when you've seen things like this with other people. Everyone responds to a different teaching method, I suppose, don't they? I know I do. I failed my maths at school twice. Twice I failed it. I then tried to do it again at college on a catch-up. Failed it. Went back and did it about, what, 4 or 5 years ago. Flew through it. And I wasn't any better at maths. I just happened to really click with the teaching style of that teacher. Plus it was a smaller class. There was 8 of us in class. We were all bored. Well, we weren't bored housewives. I did it when my kids were in nursery. They went just mornings then. So, yeah, I went to local children's centre and my maths was one of the things I did. Because I'd always had a niggle in my head that I was not good at it. I couldn't do it. So where other teachers had failed, the current teacher succeeded. So yeah, never give up on anything. Right, I'm going to bring my chopper in now. And I'm going to chop that off. And that is going to determine how wide my pocket's going to be. I have no idea how wide it is. Right, and I want my brown a little bit wider than my white border. Yeah, you see how I lined it up with the edge of my plastic? I'm going to come a smidgen further in than that to cut this. Oh, that's too much. Far too much, so I'm just going to cut a little bit more off. Far too much. Oh, that's better. I'm happy with that. Rather too much than not enough. Now I'm going to open that up and I'm going to cut across the top of there. Then we'll have his little library pocket. There we go. If you want that rounded, round it before you ink it. Or ink it, decide you want it rounded, round it, then ink it again. Which is quite often what I do. There we go. So we might as well cut the other one while I'm here, ain't I? Then we'll be left with another piece to make another one. I might have gone a bit narrow on that one, but no, I can't live with that. I just can't live with that. I'll have to cut that one down to match. Getting a bit snap happy. Yeah, that'll do. We'll cut across the top. There's a time when I would have binned that and started again. That was when I did mini albums. I'm a little bit more, yeah, free and easy now. I'm doing junk journals. I want to use the big one. I'm using the 1 centimetre. I couldn't tell you what that is in inches. Oh, that one's a bit wonky. That's better. So we know the 4mm is the 1/4 inch, the 7mm is the 1/2 inch. It's about 3/4 then, isn't it? Yeah. Right, that's them two. I'm now going to bring, yeah, do me inking. Do me inking before I do me gluing. Backing with my oxide. Shows up better. Oh, it's dodgy this, me having 2 inks out. Chances of me sticking Dauberant wrong ink is pretty high. I'll try and behave. I'm going to go around here as well. I'm right into using craft card again. I've done a lot of craft card with stamps. I've done a few projects with the Botanical book, the Concise Flora. So now we've got this one. Then I'm going to need to bring all these together, aren't I, in some kind of mini album. Looking forward to that. Let's do this. Dib dab dub. Is that the motto of the Scouts? Dib dab dub. It could be. I could be talking absolute rubbish. It's not unheard of, is it? Not with me. Oh, do you want a random funny story? Random funny story here. I don't know how this come about. Me and kids were watching something on telly, and someone on about a child getting lost, and it made me think about a time when my little Rachie got lost in Asda. That's Walmart for you in US. This big supermarket. It was quite the big one. If you are more local to me, it was the big one at, I forgot where it is. Handsworth in Sheffield. It's the big one with the big mezzanine floor. Oh, I've just whacked my camera. What am I like? Yeah, are we okay? Yeah, we're fine. Yeah. See, I can't see. I talk with my hands. I'm like that. Yeah, big mezzanine floor, you see. So I needed to put my hand up high to tell you there were a mezzanine floor. Even though you can't see it. That's just how I talk. So yeah, big mezzanine floor. Big one it is. Right, we're going to put some glue just down these edges. So glue these. Move your ink away so you don't have to put that in a silly place to not dip it in your ink. So yeah, it was funny. I was there with a friend actually. There were my two and her daughter. I like that supermarket. It has security, so you let kids go off and look at toy section. I think mine were there could have been about 8. And there's me and my friend Kathy shopping away, and a little announcement came over at Tannoy. Mrs. Popples, could Mrs. Popples please come to customer services, please? Mrs. Popples, and I think we'd heard it a couple of times, Mrs. Popples. And then it suddenly dawned on me when they said, Mrs. Popples, we have a lost child. And like, oh my word, that's me. I'm Mrs. Popples, because Rachel's nickname was Rachel Popples. So she'd actually couldn't find me, so she's gone to customer service desk, and when they've asked her a name, she said Rachel Popples. So they've asked for Mrs. Popples to come to customer services. It was funny, but it wasn't. I mean, it could have been one of those nightmare times had I noticed she were missing. But when there's 3 of them together, all the same age, you don't panic, do you? It was like, oh my word. What she'd actually done is she'd got separated from her sister and Kathy's daughter. But that was just so funny. And we tease her about it all the time now. Rachel Popples. My word. Right, that's those stuck. Well, I told you. Well, I thought it was funny anyway. Either you do or you don't. Right, I'm now going to back these tags. I'm going to put some eyelets in top of there. I told you it weren't rocket science today. It's more of a craft along with me, isn't it? Right, I'm going to grab some of these off-cut bits here that I've cut off the top. That one will make another pocket. I do have a lot more off-cut bits from the ones I made yesterday when I hadn't a clue what I was doing. So I'm now just looking for 2 bits. Oh, that could make another pocket. 2 bits, the right size to back my tags on. That one could be, oh, that's going to save me some work, isn't it? That's going to be perfect. So bring the chopper back in. Like I say, I'm not measuring not needed. I want a little bit of, yeah, I do, at the top. I think I want around about 1/2 inch, so I'm going to put that 1/2 inch lower down than the top. Then I'm going to cut along bottom. That's going to be perfect. I'm going to get a piece that matches this for size. If I can get one. Ooh, that's... Ooh, no. I'm not going to be as lucky with this one, am I? I'm going to have to cut one. Yeah. So I'm going to do the same again, about 1/2 inch. So put that on the 6, that on the 5.5. Then I'll move them together just to get that gap I want between the plant and that. I'm just going to eyeball this one. Yeah, placed it on how I want it. And I want roughly the same distance on the other side. But a bit less actually, because that slid over. But can you see? I'm not too bothered if distances are different to my pocket or the other tag. I'm free and easy these days. Is that going to be long enough? Yeah, I think it will. It'll be long enough. Get some ink on it and stop fretting. So I'll use the oxide on this. No, I won't. I'm using the just random regular distress ink on this. Only because I don't like my dauber. So if you're new to junk journaling and you buy the distress ink and the daubers and you think, oh, my inking looks a bit rubbish compared to some people I've seen, it does work a lot better once these are bedded in. Yeah, worn in a little bit. They can be a little bit scratchy and leave some rather harsh marks when they're quite new. So I'm going to ground this with the oxide because I want it to show up more. I'll keep the bottom square. I've not decided if I want to do a tag shape at top yet or a rounded one. I think I'll do a tag shape on these. So grab my credit card because I don't know where my chompy things are. When I'm cutting along the corners, I don't want it to come further down than there. That's just me. There's no rule. That's not a rule. That's just one of my... Oh, I nearly said a big word then. Idiosyncrasies. One of my faffinesses. So I'm going to cut that much off. I'm happy with that. So I've cut the corner off the card and flip it over. So I've cut 2 angles that will match from my... If I line it up like that, I will. It's going to be nice. There we go. I'm going to use my tacky glue again. And I'm thinking, because those pockets are now quite deep, you look at it while I'm gluing. I don't know if I need to put something else on, but then I'm covering the description if I put something on, aren't I? If I start decorating those, I really am defeating the object. So we'll see what they look like when it tags in them. You can also put other things in as well. You don't have to stay with just one tag in that pocket. I just thought it would be nice to have the description of the plant on the pocket with the tag in. Is that the right one? Yeah, of course it is. Pop it on. It's quite cute. Could put a charm on as well. I might put a charm on, just to be different. Where's my bit of card gone? I'm going to cut the corners before I ink so I can get all the way around. Yeah, been all our inking in this one, haven't there? But we all have to ink. Snippity snip. Inky inky. Inky inky parlez-vous. What on earth is that song? What have I just sung? Have no idea. It's not from my childhood, perhaps. Mrs. Popples, please come to customer services. Mrs. Popples, that's just funny. I'm not Mrs. Popples, by the way. Mrs. Popples. Oh dear. Oh, it's gone really quiet now, hasn't it? All this concentrating. end of my glue's got a bit gunked up. I really need to wipe it. Oh, it's coming out better now. I think I need to fill it up actually. I'm having to squeeze a lot harder because it's getting... Yeah, I need to fill it up. That'll be the first time I've filled it up since I initially filled it up. Yeah. So it's not the first time I've filled it up. I'd be using it with no glue in, wouldn't I? Yeah. Right, there we go. Quite happy with that. Went a bit mad with glue. Oh, what I have noticed, you know, if you get a bit of glue and you don't like it, and this, yeah, this thing here, this powder tool, as well as covering the sticky up, it just gets rid of the shine. So do that, and you can hardly see it. Do that, stick a bit more ink on. Job's a good one. Blind man would be glad to see it, as my mum used to say. Right, what I'm going to do now, I'm going to punch all my holes, put some eyelets in, and I'm going to use a few of these. These are dies I've got. You can get the We Are Memory Keeper's punch makes a larger hole than your crocodile makes. It makes the size of hole that a reinforcement ring is, which is slightly bigger. You know, if you're using a paper punch, one of the double hole punches for the A4 papers, that's the size that makes. Right, that's how I like to get them out as well. Oh, did it. Quite satisfying, that. So I've cut those ready. I'm going to punch my holes. I've already got this set. I've done mine to 1/4 of an inch down. I'm eyeballing what the middle is. There was a time when I would have got my centering ruler out and measured it, but I'm free and easy. Right. These, because the end of that's all gunked up, I might use my art glitter. And that's only, also it'll stick a bit quicker for me to get my eyelets in. I mean, you don't need to put metal eyelets in when you've put these on. I had my pin in, but it's gone a bit gunky. Okay, and they're staying rust free. They've discoloured slightly. They're not as shiny, but they're not rusty. Oh, come on, mate. You want to come out? What's that all about? I'll tell you what, I'd probably not put the pin in. Found the pin on the desk like 2 days after I last used glue. Yeah. There we go. This is really difficult with my big chompy fingers. Don't matter if you don't get perfect if you put an eyelet on. I mean, yeah, you don't need an eyelet. I could actually just put some pretty ribbon in here instead of an eyelet. I could, but whether I will or not is another matter. I could put the eyelet on the pocket and then the fancy ribbon on the tag, couldn't I? Yeah, that sounds like a plan. Just pretty it up a little bit. We could match the ribbon to the flower. I'm looking at some ribbon now. I used it on my project on Saturday. So it's seam binding in that exact shade of pink. So that would look pretty nice. Now these look good if you do them in a contrasting colour. Is that all 4 done, or have I forgot one? No, that's all 4 done. So yeah, look. Yeah, I've still got this ribbon out. That does match that really nice, doesn't it? Does it go with craft though? I don't know, I can't decide. Let's put the reinforcement, sorry, the eyelets in the pockets while I decide. I'll then put it in the pocket. I will pop some ribbon next to it and have a look what it looks like. I've already got this set at right one. There we go. I just like the look of that extra little ring around it. even though I'm putting eyelets in. It also, they behave a little bit better when the card's a bit thicker. Yes, if you're having trouble with your eyelets going misshapen or the back's splitting too much, if you put some more card around it, either in this form or just a little square of card will do, they will behave a little bit better for you. Right, that's the corn cockle. I quite like that. It's quite a deep pocket, deeper than I would normally do, and that's the night flowering campion. I don't think I want to put ribbon in, I don't. It matches and all that, but I think I prefer the look of the eyelets and then string. I seem to only want to put string in things these days. I might have to get some different coloured string just to jazz things up a little bit. So that's that. And that is that. Yeah, and it's an ideal project for when you feel like you're not feeling mega creative, but you want the satisfaction of completing a project. Have I got that right way around? Yes, I have. Right, there we go. So we've got 2 little pockets and 2 tags. I'm just I can't resist it, can I? I can't resist putting this in just to see what it looks like. I actually think I like it. I'm going to do it. I'm going to put that in and I'm going to tie. Oops, that one's a bit wonky donkey. I'll do my tying a bit of twine round it thing. That's something else I do a lot of. I think it's my favourite way to finish off a tag. Oh yeah, that just livens it up a little bit. So I'm going to have to get, I've got some white. I'm sure I've got white in that bag. It's still there. The big question now is, when I take that bag out from underneath all the stuff on top of the pile, will the Crafterland happen? It either will or it won't. And it's end of video now, so it's not going to impede me using my desk. I've used my desk. The desk is used. Oh, I like that. That's nice. And you can put whatever you want in that. You could fasten that to your page with a rivet and it could swing about. Yeah, it could. You know those with legs? You know what I mean. Paper fastener. I like that now with the pink. I think it livens it up. So, how alive is the other one going to look when I just use white? That's now the question, isn't it? Do I have white? I may not have white. So I may have to use a pale pink or maybe a blue. I don't know. Pale pink or blue? What do we think? I do have some white somewhere. I just don't know where it is. Basically, I've got a big roll of it. Could be anywhere. I think I'm going to use pink. I don't know if I want to use blue. Just pop a bit through. Could use ordinary ribbon. It doesn't have to be seam binding. I couldn't put my hands on any white ribbon at minute either. I've got things piled up in front of my drawers with all my ribbon in. Things that should have been put away and haven't. The first day my kids are back at school, I am having a mass craft room clear out because I've still got no further forward with getting a stand-up desk. I think I was living in cloud cuckoo land when I thought, oh, once kids are on holiday, then I've not got to be getting up at school time, making meals, at tea time, at a set time, because they're going to be hungry when they get home. I'll get the rest of the tidying done and get my stand-up desk done. It did it heck happen. Oh, I like those, yeah. Even though that's a white flower, I do like that little bit of pink. So, there we go. Not rocket science, not difficult. Yeah, if you've got a book like that, give it a whirl. Yeah. And, yeah, I'm going to shut up because I could waffle on for England now today. And I will see you tomorrow with another project. Oh, yeah, I do apologise for not getting a video up every day. Some days it's just not occurred when we've had other things on, you know, with them being off. And, yeah, So I'll try to do one every day, but don't worry about me if I don't put one up. It's just because I ran out of hours in the day. That should all be resolved when they're back at school. Yay, 2 weeks left. Oh, craft lunch. So I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. Bye.